Okay, we're going to do number 1, 3, and 4. So for number 1, they say, los op vir x en illustreer jou antwoord op 'n getallelyn, maak 'n ruwe skets van 'n parabool vir elke vraag om jou te help om die antwoord te vind. You don't have to do both. You don't have to do the parabola and the number line. Jy kan net een van die twee doen. Okay. Goed. No, it's the first period. We can't be feeling like that already. So the first thing you do is you have to find the values where your parabola will cut the x-axis. How do we do that? Difference between square factorization. Okay? So jy gaan sê net, hierdie ene kan factoriseer na x minus 4, x plus 4. Vir nou moet nog glad nie worry oor die kleiner as of groter as 0 nie. For now, familiar territory, you know how to factorize the difference between two squares. Baby steps. Baby steps. Okay. So ek gaan hom gou teken en ek gaan die getallelyn ook teken. Jy hoef nie al twee te teken nie. Okay. So I'm saying this means that x can be equal to -4 or x can be equal to 4. So as ek my parabool gaan teken, goed. Jy hoef nie die y as waarde ook aan te dui nie, maar as ek 'n waarde hier wou aandui, kan julle onthou wat sal hy wees? What will that value be if I wanted to show it as well? The intercept on the y-axis, -16. Okay, but we get to that again. Moenie nou daaroor worry nie. So the important thing, do you agree, is on my x-axis, I know that it changes sign at -4 and at 4. Okay. Wat gaan my patroontjie wees? Hierso. Wat gaan hier wees? 'n Positief of 'n negatief? Look at your parabola. Positive. And you're in the middle? Negative. And you're on the right-hand side? Positive. Because it's a parabola, it will always be either plus minus plus or minus plus minus. Because it has a turning point. So it changes direction halfway through. But do you see it's plus minus plus? How do we see that? This part of the parabola is above the x-axis, so it's positive. This part is also above the x-axis, so it's positive. And this part in the middle is below the x-axis, so it's negative. Okay, now you've drawn your parabola or your number line. Now the next step is, what are we looking for? Now go to your inequality. Are we looking for plus or minus? You see, smaller than 0. So we're looking for minus. Where do we find minus? Between. Okay, so it's the one that we write like a sandwich. Between -4 and 4. Do you see, daar's die snytjies brood? Yum, yum. Here's a big yum. No? You write it like a piece of bread. The one limit on the one side, the other limit on the other side with the x in the middle. Okay. Grade 11s, when you are writing this interval, the one between 2 points, always make sure that your inequalities are pointing in the same direction. It can't be this. This doesn't exist. There's no such a thing as that. X cannot be bigger than -4 and at the same time be bigger than 4. Then it's just bigger than 4. So they must point in the same direction away from the smallest number. Okay. Good. And if my question was this, you would have just added is equal to as well. But it's not my question, so I'm not going to add it now. Okay. Ander ding, kan julle onthou werk intervalnotasie? Do you remember intervals? I like writing it like this, but you are more than welcome to write it like this as well. X is an element of -4 to 4. Nee? En as dit blokhakkies is, dan sluit jy hom mos in. So block brackets would have been is equal to as well. Kom nou. Both of those answers are perfectly correct. Okay. So what oftentimes happens is it depends on who taught you intervals the first time. So Ms. Tromp taught me intervals the first time and she always used this one. So I never ever use that one. But it depends on like where you saw it first. Maar altyd 100%. Okay. Maklik genoeg. Nou, graad 11, hoe kry ons punte? You get your marks for finding your two roots of x. In other words, getting your two, whatever the values is, where it cuts the x-axis. That you have to do by factorization. So your first step will be to show your factors. Your next step is to draw me a sketch. Either your number line or that. If you go from there straight to there, you are going to miss a mark. Dit is so in graad 11, dit is so in matriek aan die einde van die jaar as jy eksamen skryf. If we mark these questions in the exam paper, there's a mark allocated to either drawing the parabola or the number line. So don't skip that step. Do you all hear me? Good. Okay. Goed, nummer 3. I put in number 3 on purpose because it's more difficult to factorize. But it is still factorizable because that is still the difference between two squares. Do you see that? No? So dit gaan net wees 2x minus 3, 2x plus 3 is kleiner as 0. Okay, so the two values that I will draw on my parabola or on my number line will be negative 3 over 2 and 3 over 2. Nee, as jy hom oplos is 'n gewone vergelyking, dan gaan die 3 mos oor en sy teken verander en dan deel jy deur die 2. So die een gaan negatief 3 oor 2 wees of 1.5 en die ander een, the other one will be positive 1.5 or 3 over 2. Okay, so if I draw this on a number line, my x values, negative 3 over 2, positive 3 over 2. What sign will be here? Negative. What will be here? Easy enough, right? Now you only worry about the inequality. What are they looking for? A plus or a minus? Kyk weer. Kyk weer. Minus. Nee, hy sê kleiner as. Okay. He's looking for smaller than. In other words, we are looking for minus. So we are looking for this part. Do we include the two limits? Do we include the two limits? Do we write bigger than or equal to? Why not? Because the question doesn't have it in. As die vraag dit bygehad het, dan het ons dit in ons antwoord bygeskryf. Maar die vraag het dit nie by nie, so ons skryf dit in ons antwoord by nie. So it'll be from negative 3 over 2, skryf jy hom soos 'n broodjie, all the way to 3 over 2. Almal by? Okay, I'm going to give you a minute to do that one. Start off by factorizing and drawing either your number line or your parabola.